Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday to you. Hope you guys had a great weekend. In today's video, I'm going to give you my hottest takes from every game Thursday to Sunday in week 9. We're going to look at it from a fantasy perspective. What information can we take away from these games and use moving forward to make better decisions, maybe get a leg up on the competition, go out and get some players who are flying under the radar. A couple of these games I'm going to give multiple takes on, and then a few more I am going to spend a little bit more time reviewing for obvious reasons, which will make sense once we get there. But before we do that, if you guys have not done it yet, join the press. We are that close to getting to our first 500 subscribers. You can still be a part of it. So please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a ton. And then if you get in the middle of this video, find yourself enjoying the content, a like on it would do a huge amount of good as well. To all of my current subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you. Could not and would not do this without you guys. Love the engagement from over the weekend, so keep dropping those comments down below and keep that up. Enough of that, let's hop into this Relentless Rundown. We're going to start with the Thursday night game between the Eagles and the Texans. Props to Houston for keeping it close up to halftime. Ultimately, the Eagles prevailed 29-17. I think the biggest takeaway and my hottest take from this game is that Kenneth Gainwell needs to be 100% rostered. Now, he's getting super disrespected right now. He's owned in just a little over 10% of leagues. He's been very productive with limited opportunity, but the most important thing here is that this Eagles offense is playing absolutely lights out. If anything were to happen to Miles Sanders, Kenneth Gainwell, while not a pure one-for-one swap, would see a massive increase in his workload. I think he would be a top 15 back nearly every single week, depending on that matchup. So he is a player, if you are looking for a lottery ticket that can put your team over the top, if he's available, he needs to be rostered to give you that chance. The Bengals come out and smoke the Panthers in a revenge game. I kind of thought that this was the way it was going to go, maybe not to this brutal of an extent. Biggest takeaway and the hottest take. They are who we thought they were. The Panthers are basically a step above completely tanking for a draft pick, and the Bengals offense, even without Jamar Chase, can be deadly. Obviously, they needed a week without him to figure out what the changes were going to be. And after that happened, it was Joe Mixon becoming the superhero of the week. He had 26 total touches, 211 total yards of offense, and 5 tutties to go along with it. It is why I have loved him all season. It is why I have had him as a buy basically forever. This game showed that massive upside. The Chargers survive Atlanta, steal it at the end, 20-17. But what we learned is that there are 2 Falcons backs that now have weekly value with Cordero Patterson coming back. Tyler Algier, he is going to be more often than not a touchdown dependent flex, but he was not in this game. He had 11 touches for 123 total yards. If you have him, do not panic. Obviously, his value goes down, but he still has some because all Atlanta wants to do is run the football. The Dolphins outgun the Bears 35-32. We learned that Jeff Wilson needs to be 100% rostered as well. He has more of a shot at that 1A role in this offense than I certainly thought. It looked like it was Raheem Mostert through and through. It has been for Miami for the last 4 or 5 weeks. He actually out-touched Mostert in this game. He had more opportunities, and he's also more effective, which is more important. To Chicago's side, probably not going to make me too popular, but my hot take is sell Justin Fields right now. He is going to have a great game against Detroit next week, and that is what you sell. The problem is, after that, he gets a slaughterhouse of above average to very good NFL defenses. After the Detroit game, he gets Atlanta, who should not be slept on, the Jets, who just crushed the Bills and made Josh Allen look human, Green Bay, meh, Philadelphia, and then Buffalo after that. So get the max value that you can out of him now. He's been a quarterback 1 for like 4 of the last 5 weeks. And I think the 1 week he wasn't, he was probably quarterback 13. So you can likely sell him extremely high. If you can go out and get Tua Tagovailoa or Justin Herbert, go and get that deal done right now while you still can. The Lions shocked the Packers 15-9 in an epic NFC North clash. Just to watch the Packers struggle through this game as a Vikings fan was absolutely beautiful. Now, I told you guys that the Packers were done and over with last week, and I believed that. I still thought that they were going to be able to find a way to beat this Detroit Lions team. The Lions hadn't given up less than 24 points, I think, to anyone in any game this entire season. So I thought Green Bay's offense would show some life, be able to move the ball, and the defense would do enough to get them the victory. Oh, I am happy that I was wrong. What we learned from Detroit's side is that Jamal Williams is worth a flex play at minimum every single week from here on out. I ended up moving him in front of DeAndre Swift in my final rankings on Saturday. And that was a great call by a subscriber actually who said, why is Williams being disrespected? Especially when we don't know the workload of DeAndre Swift. You're absolutely right. We do not know what that usage is going to be, and so we cannot trust Swift as anything more than a mid-level flex right now. Swift had just 5 total touches in this game. Jamal Williams, on the other hand, had 24 carries. For the Packers, the hot take is this: they are absolutely out of excuses, and it wasn't just the defense that let him down. It wasn't the wide receiver's fault. This was all on Aaron Rodgers. Guy threw 2 interceptions in the red zone, 3 picks overall. One of them he threw off of a defender's helmet, and another one he underthrew his offensive lineman, who he was targeting, by about 5 or 6 yards in a very easy throw to make. So I'm really excited to see what kind of excuses A-Rod brings out of this, because he always seems to have one. But they're out of excuses in Green Bay, and now I just get to sit back and watch the organization crumble. To the Patriots game, they dismember the Colts 26-3. This game was exactly how I called it to be, to a T. There was really no chance in the Colts from beginning to end. There are going to be better days ahead from Indy, but my hot take is this: against good defenses, we probably are just better off benching every single Colt that we have. This is why I was selling Michael Pittman last week. It can get really ugly with a guy like Sam Ehlinger against an above average NFL defense. The Jets surprised the Bills, but maybe it shouldn't have been such a big surprise to us because New York has been playing some really good football. They win it 20-17. Hot take is Michael Carter is a set it and forget it running back 2 for you guys. The Jets are going to continue to try to protect Zach Wilson because he has just been average at best so far this year. But the defense is clearly good enough to keep games close and help them rely on that running attack. After a decent day from Michael Carter that didn't blow us away, I am a buyer if you can get him at his current price of running back 24. The Jacksonville Jaguars come back against the Raiders. They got down early, but they fought back. They end up pulling it out 27-20. Zay Jones is another player who I am pushing needs to be 100% rostered. He's on pace for over 115 targets, and he is the clear number 2 behind Christian Kirk. Then we have the fact that Evan Ingram got banged up. Now, it looks like he is still likely to play, but he is probably not going to be at 100%. So that means that even more looks could come Zay's way in Week 10. In the AFC West, the Seattle Seahawks crushed the Cardinals 31-21. I have wanted to doubt. I have tried to hold off. Geno Smith will not let us not believe. He is going to continue his current pace against the Bucs. That's my hot take. I do not like this matchup at all, but Geno Smith's play has spoken for itself. He has the playmakers, and they are doing great things on offense. So once again, he is going to be a QB1. A very desperate Tampa Bay Bucs team storms back against the Rams, pulls off the dub 16-13. Hot take: Cade Otton is a top 12 tight end for the rest of the season. He continues to show up. He caught 5 of 6 balls in this game, 68 yards and a score. If he is available, then he is a solid option at a position that really does not have many of them. The other one is roster Cam Akers. Now, it does not look good. I am not going to sit here and tell you that it does, but there is nowhere to go from up, and Akers is available in about half of leagues right now. At the end of the day, I am still a believer in his talent and that the Rams, at least offensively a little bit, can turn it around, and it doesn't cost you anything if he is sitting on your waiver wire. So if you can make room for him, I would definitely do that. Final two games I wanted to spend a little bit more time on. So we're going to start with the Sunday night matchup with the Chiefs. They get handed the game against the Titans, end up winning in overtime 20-17. This is my hot take. There is absolutely nothing that the NFL will not do to allow Patrick Mahomes to shine in prime time. It was really sickening to watch, if I am being completely honest. There were 3 defensive holds called on 2 plays when the Chiefs were trying to tie the game on that 2-point conversion. And what should have been called is Travis Kelce with the offensive face mask / pass interference to actually be able to make the catch and push this game in overtime. So Mahomes was not good in this game. He was fine on that last drive. He obviously turned it on, especially on the ground, ended up being able to force overtime, but Mahomes played a pretty subpar game for the most part. But instead of the headline that the Super Bowl champion loses a game to a 3rd-round quarterback who completed 5 passes, none of them to wide receivers, we get to hear about Patrick Mahomes being an MVP candidate, which is absolute hogwash. Props to the Titans defense in this one. They held the high-powered Chiefs down the entire game. They got cheated out of this. I don't care what you say. Tennessee is 6-2. The Chiefs are 5-3 after this game. Worst part about this is that I'm not even a Chiefs hater. I just really dislike when the NFL tries to put people up on a pedestal who did not really perform to that level. If you watch the game, it was very clear, but it's also really easy to throw a headline out and make your case. Derrick Henry, awesome once again. We have come to expect that. And I saved the best for last. I have my Minnesota Vikings going to 7-1, outlasting not only the Washington Commanders, because that is not the only team that they faced on Sunday. It was also the Zebras in black and white who did everything, including tackling a Vikings player to stop an interception and actually give Washington one of its only points of the game in a touchdown to Curtis Samuel. The Vikings faced more adversity in this game than one that I can remember in probably the last 5, maybe even 10 years. So as a fan, so proud of the way the Vikings bounced back. Everything that possibly could go against them did, and they still found out how to get that dub. And my hot take is this: TJ Hockenson is a top 5 tight end for the rest of the season. Just a couple days, about 72 hours after the trade, Hockenson was able to come in. He caught 9 balls on 9 targets for 70 yards. He was already utilized a ton in this game. I'm not sure how he learned the offense and the playbook that fast, but just imagine 2, 3, 4 weeks out when he has a full grasp. The possibilities of what Kevin O'Connell can do with him are going to be limitless, and I cannot wait to see what that looks like. And that is everything I got for the Week 9 hot takes. Hope you guys enjoyed the content and learned something. Hope that there's information in here that you can use to make better decisions as we look to get another win in week number 10. If you enjoyed the content, crush that like button for me. It helps me out a ton. And then subscribing to the channel as well always helps. This is Relentless Press. I'm your host, Abria Mopats, and I will see you